proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
All right, folks, we are back. And before I shoot it over to Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America, and we're streaming live right now over at prisonplanet.tv, I just want to play this amazing clip of the mayor actually admitting, yeah, you know, shootings are down and gun deaths are down, but we want to take them down even further. And we don't even need a conviction. If we get a gun off the street, we'll give you $1,000 anonymously. Hit it.
Hi, I'm Mayor Cory Booker, and I, like so many in our city, are just saying enough. We have had a significant reduction in shootings in our city, but it is still too many. There are a small group of people in our city that think they can walk around with guns. It is unacceptable. But we can't just wish this will stop. We can't just hope this will stop. We as individuals have to do something about it. So we have a program in our city right now that's completely anonymous, and we will give you cash, $1,000, to anyone who calls our anonymous tip line. Give us the information about who is carrying a gun. And if we don't even have to have a conviction, if we arrest that individual and simply get that gun off the streets, you call back, get your second group of digits, go to a bank or send somebody to a bank, and they will give you $1,000 in cash, no question asked. This is the best program in the country. A quick $1,000. If you know somebody carrying an illegal gun, give us the information and get the money. $1,000. We cannot afford to have one more person in our city shot. We cannot afford to have one more such crime happen, to devastate families, to rip the fabric of our community. I won't accept it. We're getting so much better in driving the rate of shootings down in our city. But now I'm offering you $1,000 for a little bit of information to help us keep our city and our communities even more safe. Step up. Stand up. Let's get these guns off our street. $1,000. Thank you.
And I mean, you really have to watch the video to appreciate it. He's got the money in his hand, just feeling it out, throwing it in their face. And like I said, what type of low-life criminal isn't going to want that $1,000? They're going to report anybody and everybody they suspect of having a firearm, illegal or not, and then this will give the police the probable cause to go into your home illegally, search it for other contraband, and arrest you for that, and probably take your gun even if it's legal. They've done it before. They'll do it again. Larry Pratt, what's your take?
Well, it's a really slick plan if you like the way they did business in Nazi Germany or in Soviet Union or in Castro's Cuba. It's a surefire plan to make sure that nobody trusts anybody, that it's impossible to conspire against the government, even politically, let alone any other way, because you may be talking to a snitch that's going to turn you in. And I guess the other thought that comes to my mind, in addition to the totalitarian outrageousness of that mayor's views, is that he is, and no doubt, a typical product of government schooling, and probably has no idea that the term militia in our Constitution and in our Bill of Rights, that term had 150 years of very clear, settled meaning, and that was that every free man between certain ages had to have a military, toward the end in the beginning of the early Republican period, have a military rifle, and not to have one under colonial law would get you a fine. So here he wants to pay the opposite. He wants to pay a bounty for snitching out when somebody has a gun, which under the Constitution he's supposed to have, especially if it's today's battle rifle. There's no question that that's what every male, free male in this country should have in his possession. And here you've got this nut that assumes that somehow the criminals are going to be flummoxed by a plan which, as you point out, the ones that will really game this plan are the criminals.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. The people that are going to be turning people in are low-level drug dealers. They're the ones that actually would hold up a convenience store. And let's be honest, we're not advocating criminals to have guns on the streets, especially, handguns and whatnot while they deal drugs. But if the police wanted to do something called detective work and their jobs, they know where these neighborhoods are. They know where the drugs are being dealt. They know where the illegal firearms are being brandished on the streets. Why not follow the criminals? Why take criminals' words for it and then go into law-abiding citizens' homes searching for quote-unquote illegal firearms when, again, they have to take a criminal's word for it that firearm is illegal in the first place?
Another cheaper way to accomplish what he says he's trying to do, which is to lower crime. He puts it in terms of getting guns off the street, and that's going to happen when hell freezes over. But the question has always been, and it never seems to occur to these folks who feel the way the mayor does, is that criminals break laws, and they're always going to have guns. But if he were to take a completely different tact, and he were to say, okay, I just want every citizen to come in here, show a valid driver's license, and we're going to give you a permit to carry a concealed firearm, and happy hunting, tell the criminals their day has come. Now, that would work. That has worked in jurisdictions. It may not be, I'm trying to be as outrageous as the mayor, but that very kind of policy has worked in the jurisdictions that say, you know what, the good guys, by definition, are good guys. They ought to have a gun if they want one, because that way, when the cops can't get there in time, which is usually what's going to happen, then they'll be able to take care of themselves. And if it's a really good day, a robbery gone right means a dead crook.
I'd like you to really elaborate on the point that this is a modern-day Stasi snitch force, and really to put people in fear that they don't know who they're associating with. They don't know who they're talking to. Because I see guns as the first step, and the next step is going to be, their carbon footprint is too much. We have to be the ecological police, or they're not going along with the National Service Program.
Or, like in San Francisco, they either are or about to implement an ordinance that will have the trash police, that may be their actual name, but that's what they are, going around to see in your trash to make sure that your newspapers are in one container and your glass is in another, and blah, 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 all the way down the line. And, of course, all this costs a lot of money, and it never occurs to them that money is one way that you register an objective reading of carbon footprint. And if it costs more money to recycle, maybe recycling is actually counterproductive.
But there's a great program about that. I don't necessarily always agree with Penn and Teller, but they have a program on Showtime where they really go over the farce that is the recycling industry and how much power that they put into recycle this stuff. Look, I'm not against the environment. A lot of people try to read this as, he wants to pollute the earth. I just don't want everything I do tracked, traced, and databased when it comes to my garbage.
Thank you. Now we're coming back full circle, and you're talking about the snitch issue in general, and it is something that will infect every area of life, and it would be something that would accompany, I'm afraid, another development that is already well underway. If somebody can get $1,000 just for turning you in and getting you arrested, as the mayor said, not even convicted, at least presumably in the court you had a shot at due process, an attorney, expert witnesses against them. The government has the burden of proof on it, which is an extremely significant matter. All of that goes away if it's snitch power instead of jury power. And we have seen that happen in a series of steps taken by the federal government that unhappily our friends at the NRA have been oblivious to and supported. The beginning of it was in 2007 when a measure passed the Congress without a recorded vote because the NRA was supporting an anti-gun bill submitted by Carolyn McCarthy, unarguably one of the leading anti-gunners in the Congress. And this measure provides for the barring of gun ownership to anybody with a medical record that might suggest that they might be a danger to self or others. No trial, none of the due process. In other words, the snitch mentality. And in this case, the snitch, even inadvertently, unawares, is your shrink, your social worker, the school nurse that puts you on Ritalin, whatever, that indicates that you might be somebody that might be a problem. They don't have to bother going to court now.
And they love targeting veterans of all people. You know, you were in Iraq, you served 2.5 years, you suffer from PTSD, no gun for you.